Previously on High Scores, High Stakes.
Okay, this week's challenge game is a game that requires no introduction, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's Street Fighter 5. It is a tournament, so this is High Scores, High Stakes, the tournament edition. 2 semi-finals and then a final with a third place playoff. In between, the semi-final number 1 was Cardinal versus Tomahawk, and semi-final number 2 was the Derby game, Luvva versus Sherry. So after that surprise tournament that went exactly the opposite as the Cardinal predicted, in 4th place, Tomahawk. In 3rd place, picking up the single point, is me. In 2nd place, picking up 2, is Cardinal. And then obviously the winner, picking up the 3 points then, is Sherry. And this does wonderful things for the league. In 4th is Cardinal.
Ooh. What?
Sherry is obviously 3rd then, with 9 points. Tom is 2nd, stuck on 11. And I have put a wee bit more distance between me and Tom. I'm top with 14 points. It's tight all around. There's now 5 points between 1st and last. Sherry technically has won the same amount of challenges as I have. It's a great win. You should have picked Ken.
Now, on to this week's episode.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that blows up a defender and sticks the ball in top bins. I am your host, MrLuvvaLuvva, and with me as always are my co-hosts.
Hi, Cardinal Smith here, hoping to actually find those top bins and not just flail around like a person who's last in the league.
I love it. I love you being last in the league, mate. Cardinal. So I'm just going to pretend that I will score top bins, and I'm just going to aimlessly try and blow people up instead.
Good stuff. It's Tomahawk here. It's good to be back. I feel as if, I say it's a week apart, but trying to get us organised to do anything is an absolute challenge in its own right these days.
I love the way it's turned into a tradition every week. Tomahawk's like, it seems like an eternity.
It seems like an absolute eternity. Done. Move on.
It's always a week, maximum a week. But speaking
7
of
days.
weeks, let's look back at last week. Last week was our Street Fighter 5 tournament, in which Cardinal famously said that it was going to be a Luvva Tomahawk final, which was not the way at all. Not the way at all.
Wrong.
Turned out the winner of last week was Sherry. He gets the 3 points. In 2nd place was Cardinal. He gets the 2nd place. And then in 3rd was me, who gets the single point. And then last, for the 2nd week in a row, is Tomahawk. And that meant for the league then that Sherry, for the first time this season, had moved off the bottom. So the league currently, as it stands, is Cardinal on the bottom with 9 points. Sherry also on 9 points, but in 3rd because he's won more challenges. Tom's in 2nd with 11 points. And still top of the league, and not like he's going to be moved, is myself with 14 points. So that is the state of play from last week. It's looking just tight. Let's just be honest. It's not going to take much to move the league around. I don't know, I've been top for a few weeks, but I'm not able to build a big eye lead, really. I'm 1 win away, so 1 bad week could change everything.
Can we stop Chris there? Because I think we've heard how he's top of the league just 4 or 5 times there during that little spiel.
Nearly enough, though. Who's top of the league
Yeah.
again?
I mean, just I think it might be me. Can someone independent invigilator? Yeah, it is me. It's coming from the production hut there. Yeah, it's definitely me. 14 points, just in case you missed it. 14 points. That's me, top of the league.
No, we need someone to come in and maybe take him down a peg or two now, because at the way my performances are going, it's starting to turn into bad form rather than just a blip. So it's going to have to be one of you two boys at the minute.
I mean,
Over Spurs.
they say that form is temporary, class is permanent, but I mean, you've shown very little class, very little form.
No.
That was
Goodness.
brutal.
It was very harsh.
It was very harsh.
And certainly something that could be rectified via a lovely new gaming challenge for this week.
I mean, yes, that's what we do every single week. We pick a game and then we make a challenge for ourselves. That's what we do here at High Scores, High Stakes. We compete against each other in a league. The winner gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point, and fourth place, aka the Tom position, gets 0 points. And that's what we do. And speaking of playing games every single week, we do play more than just our challenge game. So Cardinal, tell me, what independent studio headed strategy PC title have you been playing this week, mate? I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet you can. Listen, I have been playing a non-strategy game. It's Formula One Manager 2022. And that's not really, I mean, that's entirely a strategy game. But it's a management sim, right? Okay, it's not a strategy game, but it's officially licensed. It looks great. It's superb. There's not a lot of depth to it. I preferred older racing management sims from back in the day. But this is on every console, every platform apart from Nintendo right now, and it's good laugh.
Cardinal, can I just jump in a second here? Why not just play regular Formula One? Surely the racing side would be more entertaining.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, but you can't play the regular Formula One game during work. See a management sim where you just click space or like press X to continue when you want.
Tactical then. Right, okay. It's
No, but there's a development aspect of it, right? You're the owner of the team. You might like sign in like a young driver, you know, and develop them or improve your car over a number of seasons. It's like Football Manager. It's exactly the same. It's just numbers that go up.
Spreadsheet simulator, yeah, I believe is the correct term.
That's all I'm here to hear. I've swapped world maps for spreadsheets.
Little cars that go around in a circle. Yeah.
I mean, some of the crashes you've shown us is whew, realistic.
The animations are high octane stuff. You know, when two cars collide, they just stop on the track. And it looks, you know, the graphics look great. The animations are bog standard terrible. Yeah. What about anyone else? Anyone else been playing something more high octane than that?
I doubt it. Sherry, try to top that one. Good luck.
I'll be making potions in Hogwarts again. Trying to work my way through it because I've given myself a deadline of this Monday the 18th, is it? Is it the 18th? I think it's the 18th. So I need to be finished because on Tuesday, Minecraft Legends and Disney Speedstorm come out, and I probably will never look at Harry Potter again. So it needs
You
to be
mean
this
Monday
week.
the 18th? Do you mean Monday the 18th as in today? Because that's when this podcast
When
goes
the
live.
podcast comes out, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, today
yes.
would be
Yeah.
much easier to say.
Wow, I can't
Today.
believe those games have just relaunched.
Wow. That
Crazy.
Disney racing game is so good.
Yeah, basically
Wasn't a lesson.
that's I need to get it finished, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
You do. It's only been out since February, like, so no pressure.
it's a big game. It's a lot to do. Okay, leave me alone.
What about you, Tomahawk? Have you been playing something?
It's been a slow week in the Tomahawk household in terms of playing games, but I did pick up and start playing Bioshock Infinite.
Ooh.
Took a notion. You saw yourself, you were dropping off a bit of kit for me the other day, and you spotted that it was just installed, and I just remember you going, well, that's a good shout.
Mm-hmm. It's a good game.
So
it's a really good game.
early doors, it's all the world building stuff at the minute, but I've just got to the part where basically I've just been given the wee grapple hook, and you're just fighting your way through the town, and you've just annoyed everybody in existence just for being there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but between that, it's done now. I've done next week's challenge game, NDA, and a bit of obviously this week's challenge game as well, NDA.
Okay. Yeah, Bioshock Infinite was a great game. I loved that. I didn't think it was as good as Bioshock, but I really enjoyed it. So I did. It got really there's spikes in difficulty in it. So
Yeah, if I remember the first time playing it years and years ago, I think when it was 360.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty spikes can be more than challenging, we'll say.
Yes.
But no, it's a quality game. And I actually think even with the remaster, it still kind of holds up in terms of like image quality as well. It doesn't look and it doesn't play too clunky either. So I'd be happy to just crack on with that. Then I'm sort of splitting my time between it and Guardians of the Galaxy as well. But that's got zero play time this week anyway.
It's probably for the best. I played through Guardians just before Christmas, I think, and I remember giving off about it because it feels like that game's building up to an end about 3 times before it ends. It runs on, in my opinion, far too long. It's good, like I liked it, but I wish it ended about 5 hours before it did. This is the problem about a gaming podcast as well, though. When you spend most of the time doing the weekly challenges, you find very little time to wriggle in a bit of free play. Is the main problem. Yep. And what I've been playing this week reflects that, I think, all day long. I find the same issue. I spend a lot of time on the challenge games, probably too much time. Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of our challenge game this week. I haven't looked at next week's at all. And in between, I've been playing Street Fighter 5, the ranked mode mostly, and I'm now Super Bronze. So I am, or whatever it's called, the tier between bronze and silver. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm getting absolutely pummeled in that. Every time I go up, it comes straight back down in about 4 fights. The jump is massive. I was like, I'm doing all right, but no, I'm not doing all right.
That's what Sherry said a couple of weeks ago. It was your ceiling starts to fight back. Yep.
It does. And you don't get me wrong, I like it. You learn new things every single fight until you get to the inevitable Ken, who just absolutely destroys you and doesn't give you a second. Ken is great for a lot of reasons, but most of his moves are free. And you just get absolutely annihilated. They just get you into frame traps, and then you're snickered. And I don't even know if half of them know what they're doing, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're frame trapping you, and you can't do nothing to stop it. And beyond that, I've been playing. I've been continuing on through the mission mode in. The name escapes me. The theme park game. What's that theme park game called? Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster made by Frontier Studios, who also made Formula One Manager 2022.
They're the very same. The link.
It all comes full circle.
It all comes back. I have been blasting my way through the missions on that, and actually today I was playing it this morning just for a quick half an hour, because it's just one of those games you can stick on for half an hour, save it, and turn it off. And I realized, remember saying last week it feels like a new game because the amount of stuff you can put on PlayStation 5, what you can do in PS4. I had a park, and one section of my park had a roller coaster, a flume ride, about 4 or 5 other rides, and then I decorated everything, so the roller coaster had like a themed waiting line and all this here business. And then when I zoomed out, I was like, that one area of that park wouldn't have been possible in PlayStation 4. The one area.
I would have crushed it, yeah.
The PlayStation would have went, no.
It's quite a big limitation.
It's in PlayStation 4 you can make some pretty good parks, but they were all really small. You had to condense them. Whereas in this one, you just put way more stuff on it. It just runs better, it looks better, it just makes it a far, far better game. So it does. It's brilliant. I'd love to see it on PC. I'd love to see it on PC because I'm sure PC is limitless. CPU bound, obviously.
Tune in next week when Cardinal decides to play it next week.
It's a good game. It's a really good game.
I do that on PlayStation.
Reminds me of Coaster Tycoon more than Theme Park. So it does. The way you can modify absolutely everything in it's really good. It's really good. But that is enough of the games we have been playing. Shall we get to Le Challenge game, boys?
Oui.
Let's touch it.
Let's do it. Let's get straight over there then. Okay, so this week's challenge game is Rocket League. And the way we have done it this week is very, very simple. 2v2. So how we've split up the league is quite simple. First and fourth versus second and third. So that means the teams were me and Cardinal versus Tomahawk and Sherry. Very, very simple. I think in every game, Cardinal and myself are blue, and Sherry and Tomahawk are orange in every single game.
Indeed.
Very, very, very easy, boys. So Rocket League.
I mean, you say very easy. I do just want to make a point here that in prep for this challenge, myself and Cardinal were under the impression that we were on the same team.
I mean,
so I mean, let me add context to that. So we obviously know ahead of time what our game's playing is, and we knew it was going to be based on the league table. I thought I was third, and I found out during the podcast last week that on a technicality I was last. Yeah,
No such thing as technicalities.
I've never been more heartbroken. I've actually never been more heartbroken because I thought we had a good. Well, no, it's not a slight against.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, it is.
I gotta remember that. Remember that.
But
I mean,
no,
a
we,
really good game plan.
I'll see you on shipment.
It's funny how it
Tell you
goes
what we'll
from. It's funny how it goes from Tom never being more confident about facing Cardinal to I was heartbroken. I'm not paired with Cardinal.
I know. Like,
I mean,
disappointed.
I could go on.
Yeah, but
I could write a
heartbroken is
thesis on this,
extreme.
but what I would say is we should just go straight into the challenge, and yeah, that all will be explained, I suppose.
I mean, let's just explore this a wee bit, okay? Cardinal and Tomahawk thought they were teaming up against me and Sherry in Rocket League. They've went sneakily behind myself and Sherry's back and started playing Rocket League together in twos. Unbelievable. Where's the sportsmanship in that? That's what I say. I mean, I think it is. It just sounds like
your player.
Sounds like instant karma. You should have done your maths, boys.
I have a suggestion.
Well,
We did.
I have a suggestion. Why don't we just completely just forget Rocket League and take away any possibility of these two getting points? And because we're the last two, we both get 3 points.
No. Even I'm
it's
gonna
an
say no
interesting
on that one.
suggestion. but let's look at Rocket League, the game, first before we get straight to the challenge.
So, Rocket League. Rocket League, what a game. What a game. I bet.
Super game.
I bet nobody would have thought that Rocket League would have had the longevity it's had. Was it like 2015 released on PS Plus? And it's still going strong. It went free to play a couple of years later, maybe 4 or 5 years actually. It was pretty recently, a couple of years ago. It went free to play.
It was during COVID, I think.
Yeah. It went free to play, so people are still playing it. What, 8 years later? 8 years later? Bloody hell! The sequel to what was it called? Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars. What a name! I would love to play Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars 2, but then they changed it to Rocket League for the marketability possibilities of it. I don't know what it worked because
I got the original on a PlayStation sale for like £2 or something like that, and I played it for about 2 years straight. But by the time I had it, no one was playing online, so I was literally just playing against AI.
Yeah,
and it was such fun. So when Rocket League got announced, I was like, "This is it. This is when this game takes off." And then it didn't, and then it did, and then now it's not only still living, but I don't know if you boys ever watch the esports teams. It's amazing. It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I will say, I remember playing Super Acrobatic whatever with you on PlayStation 3 at a good few occasions, and the one thing I took away from that game was it was impossible to control. It was really finicky, fiddly, twitchy, and even just the act of getting rocket power to throw you in a straight line was almost impossible. And Rocket League fixed that to perfection because the high level players are ridiculous in this game. Even playing casuals, if you get a team of people who have played this game, they can waltz around you this week. I think we've all found out this week. People will waltz you.
Yeah.
So they will. But
yes.
Shall we get to the gameplay?
We shall indeed, yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Can't wait. Okay, so here we are with Rocket League. As I've already said, it's team-based, so it's me and Cardinal as the blue team, and Sherry and Tomahawk as the orange team. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to play the best of 3 games. So the way we're going to divide points up is the winning team. Both members of the winning team will get 3 points, and the opposite team will get 0 points. And we're also, just to spice it up a little bit, give it a wee bit more zest, there's going to be a bonus point available for top goal scorer of the whole series. So we're going to aggregate the goals scored, and whoever scores the most will get a bonus point to add a little bit of zest. Is there any last words, boys, before we hit play here? Anyone want to get their excuses in nice and quick?
There was some pre-planning and pre-play, and I will say Tom's finishing in practice was pretty lethal. He was finishing them from fun in some of our 2-for-2 games.
I mean, I also played a few games with Tom, and I can. Yep, I saw that myself. Some spectacular finishes.
Did me and you get some? Did me and you, Sherry, get some prep in?
I played
before we hit play.
I played one practice game. We won 10-3. I scored all 10 goals, and I had 13 shots. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good for this game. I might uninstall and just play it through the imagination.
I mean, scoring 10 goals is highly impressive, but I don't know if it screams team player, folks.
Don't need to. Don't need a team.
Sure. We'll hit play. We'll see how this went down then, shall we?
Yes, so let's start match number 1. And we'll see how we get on here, gentlemen. So we shall. So I haven't played Rocket League since about 2015. I played it for about 2 or 3 months when it came out, and then never thought about it again until this podcast started. Me and Cardinal did do a little bit of practice. So Cardinal was giving me some tactical help, and one of the big things I took away from him telling me is one person go to the ball, one person stay behind just in case we get beat to the ball, so we can put in a wee block, and then straight away Cardinals on the attack, and 1-0.
1 goal.
It's
straight in.
I'm just noticing here, Luvva, we were talking there when we were loading up the video. We didn't know how to do the lock on. If you look at the bottom left, that's all I'm going to say. Just look at the bottom left of the screen here when we get out of this replay, okay? Just wait for it. Brad's like going, oh, that explains a lot. Oh, it's not showing it. Why is it not showing it in yours?
Bottom left.
Well,
what is it?
Anyway,
yeah.
So let's just continue.
You're already on the camera lock. That's why
we're 1-0. Luvva goes in for washes Tom out of the way here, hits a shot in and scores, and after 18 seconds, it's 2-0 to the blue team.
I mean, all I'm going to say is I landed Tomahawk there. Just used my natural athleticism and strength. Got him out of the way. Take a wee tidy finish into the bottom corner. Beautiful. Can't be beaten.
You talk about making excuses early, though. Is my plan was to reverse and do flips to get back in time, and I seem to miss every single interception as well, which is a big excuse on my part, and I'm sticking with it, lads.
Well, I will say you just pulled off a save to stop it from being 3-0 very early on there.
Yep, and there was a lot of that. You got the ball into the centre quite a lot, because especially in this first game, I was missing simple interceptions and things, and I constantly apologising to Cardinal our private chat. God, mate, sorry. But what I think me and Cardinal did really well here was we rotated positions really well. When one of us went forward, the other one sort of fell back and sort of just hung about, waiting for the ball to get into a scoreable position. And Sherry just blew me up.
That was our plan too. Because me and Tom didn't use voice chat because we're idiots. But I was texting the pre-game tactics, and that was literally the exact same thing I said. When I'm attacking, you stay back, and vice versa. Yeah.
So one thing, let's use a Sky Sports analogy. Used here technically doing the same thing as me and Cardinal, but if you look at me and Cardinal, we're seldom close to one another. Whereas if we had a blanket, we could throw it over you and Tomahawk almost all the time.
Yeah. You're well spaced. You always have a clear line of who's attack and who's defense. Yeah. And I think this shows. Well, it's a sitter. It's exactly what that is. You've missed a sitter on that respect.
I know, but it doesn't matter because we're 2 minutes into the game and we're 2-0 up. So my misses aren't really that relevant. Plus, I score a few absolute bangers here, so they.
Oh, another save! A big save from JohnSherry. So.
I'm looking at the screen here now, Luvva, and I think you have the camera on the ball already switched on, so that's probably why it's not showing up on your feed then.
Yeah, my camera's locked behind my vehicle at all times. I use the right stick an awful lot when I'm playing this to sort of see where the ball is. Yes. And I use the on-screen sort of indicators. So there's like a little white ball. When it goes to my screen, you'll see there's like a little white mini radar hangs over your car. So it tells you where the ball is at all times. It's quite good, but I wish I had the camera focusing on the ball just makes it easier.
Well, what we just saw there is 2 minutes we've had without a goal.
And then
Until right now, 3-0.
There's curse
3-0.
there.
See, some will say that was a world-class assist from me. Tomahawk might say, actually, I got the last touch on that, but
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
that's what I
It
was
counts to me. Like, so, what a world-class
It
assist.
is funny though. It is funny though with how they score and assist on that, because it could be a blatant own goal, but the last attacking player to touch it will still get the stat and the goal credit basically.
Yeah, but after the game, it will tell you how many own goals you've scored.
Own goals, yeah, that's right.
So the person who touched it, I think it's like dubious goals, where if it's going to go in, it gets counted as
hit the
striker's
post.
goal.
Oh,
That would
thought
have
that
been
was
a
4.
that would have been a really
would've
nice
been
one.
That would have
beautiful.
been an absolute worldie of a finish, by the way. It was like a Torres sort of outside of the boot towards the far post finish. Absolute stunning stuff.
During practice, we'd love it. We're just comparing all of our goals. Oh, that was a Suarez versus Norwich one right there. Oh, Torres v Blackburn there.
That was a Dennis Bergkamp versus Newcastle, that one. Every time someone...
watching this back.
Already had Dennis Bergkamp versus Newcastle and
I
Rogan.
near it in one of these games. Then I absolutely Cristiano Ronaldo Maitland.
Yeah, happened there.
So Luvva scores another here to make it 4-0. I take a little leap, knock it past
That would have been
the
a
defense
corker.
there.
Love it, didn't touch it.
Really hard finish there for me, so it was really acute angle. Goalkeeper doing all he can, put me off, but still, you know, quality speaks over time.
Love is doing what he can to get that golden boot point anyway.
Mate, I actually,
Yes.
honestly, it looked like it there, but I totally forgot that the top goal scorer was a thing in this here. I was just trying to get as many assists
the
as
moment.
possible, you know. And I just thought you and Sherry had pulled off some cracking saves, and I did follow it in just to make sure.
Oh, Tom hits the post. So Tom did this thing with the whole game, like the whole time, where he gets little touches on in the midfield or the defense, and he just knocks the ball past you, or he breaks down play really well.
Yep.
I did enjoy this though. Like watching it back though, I'm seeing the amount of missed. Just getting under. I'm nearly 2 under the ball, and then you see this here. I've missed another one there, and then Cardinal straight on the attack again.
Yeah, it
So
looks
that's the
really
one thing I
Go on ahead.
I think it just like I let myself down a little bit there, because I think in all my practice I'm going like another day I'm hitting them, but I suppose it's just the way the luck of the draw is on this game.
Yeah. I mean, that game, the scoreline makes it look non-competitive. That is the end of game 1, and it is finished 4-0 to Cardinal and I, the blue team. Do you want to hit pause, Cardinal?
Do.
Yeah, so end of game 1, Cardinal and I have beat Tom and Sherry 4-0. It looked really one-sided, but it was actually really competitive watching it back, because my memory of this game was the first couple of minutes being really competitive and then being really one-sided, but it actually wasn't. So in that game then, Cardinal has scored 2 goals, and MrLuvvaLuvva has also scored 2 goals. So that means end of game 1, Cardinal and I are one game up, and we've both scored 2 goals each, which means we're both drawn for the golden boot. So there is. So at the end of this game, I don't know about you, Cardinal, mate, but I was like, whew, big deep breath. We've got something here.
It was something to lose all of a sudden. I was nervous at the start, but we scored 2 goals in 18 seconds. I have a feeling, actually, us talking to each other on Facebook Messenger at the time helped.
Yes.
I kind of presumed Tom and Sherry were talking to each other.
So
at the time.
We did at the start. I vaguely remember Sherry just saying, "Just go for it. Like, what have we got to lose?" And then 2 goals in 18 seconds kind of says it all. It's it's only a game, but it's so hard to come back from 2 goals down in any kind of format, I suppose.
But that was it. It was the 2 goals at the start that it made it more of a challenge for you. At the same time, you got you both put dramatic saves in there, Sherry and Tomahawk. You both like hit the post and had. I think it doesn't declare that you've had the shots that I saw in the game replay we just sent, but we were having to defend.
That's what I'm seeing there. That very daunting statistic there on the orange teams from myself and Sherry is shots won at myself there.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's a very, it's a stark reality of what, what's to come really, and what our challenge in its own right is to bring this back.
But keep in mind, to my knowledge, I think Rocket League only counts shots on target. There was both you and Sherry at some points of that were peppering Cardinal and I's goal. Like there was a few good blocks, interceptions, sort of little touches here and there to keep you out. It was a lot more competitive than the scoreline showed, but I think because of that, I think we got into both of your heads a little bit. Yeah. Because at the start of game 2, me and Cardinal are still on Facebook. Me and him were on Facebook Messenger, voice chat, the duration of all 3 games. And at the start of the second game, without spoiling too much, I did say to Cardinal, they're really aggressive this game.
Yes, you're right. Maybe we should go into it, but I think
straight into it,
I think the orange team stepped up to bring the play to us here.
Yep.
Round 2.
So this is us then. We are going into game 2. Currently, it's Cardinal and myself have won 1 game, and we've scored 2 goals each. And now it is the second game, and to stay within a shot of getting 3 points, Sherry and Tomahawk really need a win. They really need a win.
Have to score before we even get a win, lads. You have to remember that as well.
That's it.
They need a good start here.
Mm-hmm. The worst thing that could happen here would be an early goal against you, boys. So it would be. Oh, but one thing I will say is I picked the Sweet Tiff truck from Twisted Metal, and what I liked about it is in all of our practices, it is an absolute battering ram, and it's really good for those first kickoffs because it's heavy and it does sort of it gets you there and it goes through people. But I think Tomahawk just absolutely destroyed me there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And the blue team are on the attack here. I think the ball's gone up the other end, but Tom's destroyed Luvva there. Yeah. He's now bumped his own teammate out of the way. He's nudged on the ball.
There was a certain act of aggression at this point, because I do remember Sherry saying that there was a few minor connection issues, and I think we did just accidentally get in our own way.
And there's a shot from me from downtown, and Tomahawk is there to clear it up before it goes in.
Absolute great save. So yeah, it was round about this point when I was like, oh, here, these boys have changed their tactics. They're going all out sort of aggression, because there's bumps everywhere and there's demolitions quite frequently peppered throughout this game. And then I have a bit of a nightmare in trying to get a touch of the ball in my own area. But this
that's beautiful.
Oh,
that is David Beckham versus Wimbledon, boys.
one thing, Luvva, I will say is you do this very calm, collected look away from the goal as it goes in.
When you know it's happening.
Yeah.
It's the preemptive celebration.
On a video podcast makes not for excellent content.
So a minute and a half in, and Luvva's just scored from the halfway line there. And we were just talking about the aggression. It makes it hard to play when there's so much bumps. Your rhythm's out of the way. Tomahawk's on the attack straight away again, and here what he's done again is cross it into the middle.
Yeah, into the mixer, as they say on Sky Sports. Into the mixer.
And that's what we had discussed as a team to try and do as often as possible. But he knocks the ball back here, and Sherry's gone for the attack.
And I think at this point in the chat, things get a little bit spicy.
Can we just call it after this game then?
There we go. Shall we just call it after this game? Still 3 minutes on the clock, only losing 2-0. Sherry's ready to throw in the towel. We got into their head. They were defeated. They were defeated.
I was ready to throw in the towel through the first game, to be honest.
But that's the thing. It was really competitive. So it was.
I will say, during the entirety of all 3 games, not once did I ever feel like it was going to be competitive. I never felt like it was any like getting a glove on used to.
But this is the thing, though. This game is both the first 2 games that like it wasn't one. Like the scoreline in the first game made it look like it was one-sided, but it wasn't. And this game certainly isn't because I'm being bumped around like crazy.
You're doing a lot of defending. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't left.
No,
our
you're
own
just right.
half
Because
here.
4-0, it definitely wasn't a 4-0. Like it wasn't a thrashing, but you know, you get the 4 goals in, which definitely puts you in a good spot anyway. And there's a bit of miscommunication there, but
And
Cardinal still
again-
gets the goal.
But again, a lot of our goals. I remember at one point Sherry says, a lot of their goals were lucky, but I don't think they were. I think a lot of our goals were due to good spacing between me and Cardinal. We were never too close to one another, unless we were defending.
Sherry in the chat here was asking me to skip the replays, but I genuinely wanted to keep them so we could watch this back. But again, that 3rd goal is now 3-0 to the blue team. That 3rd goal, and John Sherry's just had a shot that hit the post. But the 3rd goal was another result of the orange team attacking, having a spell of pressure, and the game breaks away. The ball breaks to the other side, and it looks like an easy goal.
Yeah.
And it's bad luck sometimes, but
So it's just the way. Sometimes you have to take risks, and right now in the voice chat in the game, Sherry sounding like Bruno Fernandes whenever they're losing.
Going ballistic.
So this here is just magnificent. So it is. I take a few risks throughout these 3 games with how I played the ball back. In the first game as well, I rifle one off our own post.
That's what they say in Sky Sports as well. You never play facing your own goal, do you? And you're doing that an awful lot in this game as well. You do throw caution a bit.
I think I did it 2 or 3 times. In this game, I ping the ball back and take a few risks. Now, a couple of occasions I play it back to Cardinal because I can see Cardinal, but that one's a blind throwback, so it is.
Looks like it's playing out like normal, but if I go anywhere near the ball, it just disappears.
so John Sherry at this time,
Strange.
he's talking about his connection issues.
Blaming lag like it was 1998 Counter-Strike 1.6.
What a game! What a game! Loved it.
What a game.
Tomahawk with an absolute backflip shot there, which is not something I've seen, but he's been going backwards so often. Like it's a whole technique.
Well done.
And then
a bit of luck there.
Tomahawk, tell us about that goal.
A bit of a deflection, but it just when it sits nicely for you, you have to ping it bottom corner, like.
You're their goals. Some of their goals have been lucky as well.
Just listening to
Again.
Sherry here.
I
We're
was-
dreaming about a luck. We're dreaming about a luck.
Pure latent instant.
I can't move.
But yes, going back, Cardinal, I remember you saying like there was a lot of backwards attempts on goal. There was a lot of backtracking in backflip form as well. For some reason, it took until after the challenge I realized that if you hit square, you can like handbrake turn. I didn't know that was a feature. So
Yes.
from
So
that what you will.
that is the end of game 2, and unfortunately for Tomahawk and Sherry, it has ended in our defeat. This time the score was 3-1, and on the goal scoring front, I have scored 1 goal, Tomahawk scored a goal, and Cardinal has scored another 2, which means on the goal scoring tables, Cardinal is sitting on 4. I'm sitting on 3. Tomahawk on 1. Sherry on nothing. So it's all to play for into the 3rd game. Well, I say all to play for. That's not strictly true. At this point of the challenge, me and Cardinal are now the proud recipients of 3 points each. And there is still that little matter of the bonus point for top goal scorer, which I'll reiterate, totally forgot about, but didn't matter because right now I was buzzing. I was buzzing. All I could see was the league table and my lead at the top growing. I didn't really matter.
You have to remember, it's an aggregate score.
I didn't know we actually had the 3 points at this stage. I was thinking, okay, it's 3 matches, and whatever the score is at the end of those 3 matches is sums up to create the result. So I wasn't celebrating just right now, and I was a bit nervous going into this match because that game ended with Tomahawk scoring and John Sherry hitting the post, and there was a lot more aggression and attack from them that time, and we just scored on the break.
Yeah.
So
I am just speaking of aggression, just to give you some illustration of how aggressive the Orange team approached that game. I'm just looking at the top there. Tomahawk bumped 42 cars in 5 minutes in 2 versus 2.
That's
2 versus 2. That is a mental number. So it is. I don't even know how many that is a minute. It's about 10 bumps a minute, nearly.
I think it was very much a position. I think that if you're not listening to the audio, there's heated debate really of how our tactics are going, and I think at this point I was just like, look, I'm just in it for my own whatever happens now at this point, and I think you guys just took a bit of the frustration, really.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to speak for everyone. Before we hit the third game on, I want to sort of look at the psychology of the players at this point of the game. Okay, Cardinal has already said he didn't remember that we had won the challenge. Effectively, the challenge is done. Me and Cardinal are the winners. Cardinal, how did you feel going this third game? Just out of curiosity, what's the psychology of Cardinal_Smith in this game?
This game, I think we got a good lead. With 7-1 in aggregate, it's going to be difficult for him to come back. But I feel more nervous because we have something to lose. Okay. I want to hold on to that lead.
Yep. And I do remember you saying to me, this feels like we've something to lose. I, on the other hand, remembered the format of this challenge. And I'm like, yeah. So I go into this third game thinking, I don't care. Now, what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to lose the third game. I didn't. I forgot that there was a top goal scorer point available. I genuinely did. I forgot clean about that. But I didn't. I was going to this third game knowing we'd already won and that I didn't want to lose. Now, which brings us on to the other side of the coin. Sherry, my connection's terrible here. Tell me your psychology.
To be fair, I haven't mentioned that once this entire time. I could, but I'm not going to bother. My psychology at this point was I want to just exit the main menu and go downstairs and live my life. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something for the benefit of everyone. I'm going to target MrLuvvaLuvva, and I'm just going to make his life a complete hell and blow him up and try and fix it so Cardinal wins the Golden Boot.
Wow.
I like that.
It sounds like collusion, so it does. But here, that's the psychology of a top level athlete, and also Sherry.
It's the equivalent of do you remember in Jamie Carragher when Nani tried to run past him? He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my shins into your knee, my studs into your kneecap, a bit like that.
You shall not pass. You Gandalf'd me.
Yeah.
And what about Tomahawk?
My thinking was I kind of thought that it's only 8 goals we need to win by in this next game. We can do this. That was my thinking, and I think I messaged Sherry, was just like, come on, you scored 10, score 8. That's all you need to do.
Easy. It's absolutely easy.
No, it was not. It was bloody terrible.
So it's fair to say that we're going into this final game a whole big mixed bags of emotions. Sherry wanting to end my whole career in competitive Rocket League. Cardinal worried about losing a win that he can't lose. Tomahawk wanting to redeem some pride by Sherry scoring 10. And me just not wanting to lose. Please don't lose.
And just before we had play again, Tom wanted me to score 8 in 5 when I've managed 1 shot in 10. Okay, so let's just put that out there.
I mean, when it's not your day, it's not your day. But anyway,
but you're warmed up now.
Let's see what happens.
I will say there's some voice chat occurs in this. Swearing has been muted.
Yes.
Censored me.
So if you are of a sensitive disposition, fear not. Cardinal Journey Edit has protected you from Sherry's harsh words. And they were many, they were frequent, and they were quite loud. But without any
one
further
was
ado,
safe.
there's still a point to play for. Let's see if Sherry can score 8 goals
I don't know if
in
the
5
controller keeps dying or
minutes.
something,
But
because
it's
I'm having to use the dual shock.
it truly was wonderful. Now
which
Sherry's
hasn't
kind of
been
blaming the
used for
controller
about 3
here.
years.
We've all been there, mate.
Final round.
But let's see what happens here as we go into the third game.
So-
Really good.
Right. So the blue team, the orange team need to avoid defeat.
And an early goal. The worst thing that could happen here is an early goal.
What we just see
in
is
typical fashion.
the bulldozer that is MrLuvvaLuvva in his big truck has scored from the kickoff 3 seconds in.
I mean, it is a wonderful finish. So it is. I purposely take a wee hop at the start to make me late to the ball, so I know I'm going to make contact and it's going to ricochet off Tomahawk into the bottom left-hand corner, and that's exactly what happened. Some would say luck. Tomahawk would probably say that was pure luck. I would say no, it's pure precision.
Well engineered.
It was beautiful when you
In
think
no
about it.
world did you mean to do that first goal.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. You saw me. If you have any doubts, rewind it back. Watch the first few seconds. I take a hop, and then I go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
The hop was very boastful, I will say. It was very, I've nothing to play for. I'm just going to waste a bit of boost here. And then
See,
it
now-
fell nicely for you.
See, some
I
would
thought it was an
say...
interesting technique.
some
There's the
would-
first. Oh
absolutely
goodness, what a
stunning.
finish!
That's a
Wow,
stunning finish. So that is top end. So that is top drawer. And you know,
Just-
you know
There's a
what-
little
Just wanna-
chip here.
Just want to say their mission accomplished in wiping out Luvva there by me. So
Yeah. That happened quite a bit. Every time I got near the ball, there was a bump. But there is a few wee moments here where I do get away from the man marking and the despicable, lack of respect. I am winning the championship here. But then Sherry scores a wee.
Hold the
flying
phone.
ball.
Sherry lights up like a Conchita Wurst, rise like a phoenix, hops into the air,
hey,
blasts it into the back of the net.
That's a deliberate hop.
Now that was a good goal. To be fair to you, now
That was
Yeah.
very nice.
it was. There's some good
What-
play in
what-
this third game.
What made me laugh in that build up to that goal is I just fully took the ball off him, because at that point I think I said to you after this challenge, it's like I'm so cross about this, and I just couldn't figure out for why we got absolutely stuffed in the first 2 challenges. Of course I'm going to be cross, but
In fairness, this is a world class save. So it is.
There it is.
I was coming out
It's
of
all
the
the glory.
goal, see the ball coming back in, reverse, fly, deflect, see us later. Absolute world class save. Something
Love leapt like a gazelle into the sky.
beautiful and kept us 3-1 in the lead. So it does. It keeps us 3-1 in the lead. So it is. And then here we go again. Again, that happened me all 3 games where I should be making great contact, fly past the ball because someone bumps me or Sherry comes tearing down to take me clean out. Every time I got near the ball, he just seemed to be thereabouts. So it's constantly boosting towards me.
A
murder
He
zone.
did. And that's
I
left
started to
me
see
with
how
another
little-
tap in.
No
it
one.
is
Go ahead,
interesting
Tom.
to see how much a little bit of bumping can really throw off your route, your point A to point B, basically.
Yeah, I mean this
Yeah.
is a pure physics.
Is that right, Tom?
Game.
Is that right, Tom? Because you did 7.1 bumps per minute in the last game. I think you know all about
Oh.
bumping.
Have we done a bit of math
What a
there,
save.
Cardinal, maybe?
Yeah, here's another save. 2 double saves from Tomahawk. Yes, you got the Cardinal factor in there.
Oh, and that's a little bit of bumping back there as well. I feel as if that
I mean,
That was a little
malicious
kiss.
there.
Little kiss. That was a little kiss just to keep you out of the play.
just to let you know he's there. Let him know you're there. That's what we were saying in the chat. Let him know we're here. We're here. We're up for the fight. We're not snowflakes here. We're up for the fight. Knowing what I now know, that Sherry went out of his way to hurt me, effectively. That's what Alpha Haaland must have felt like when he saw Roy Keane come steaming towards him, and he felt his leg shatter in 3 different places. He felt hurt and betrayed, but this, check us out, a wee bit of messy type Dennis Bergkamp style skill. I don't know how this doesn't go in, but it doesn't go in, and I don't know how. I don't know how.
I think he took it away from the goal.
I think it did.
Taking the extra touch. You've killed the move, taking that extra touch.
But you see, all those saves that you and Sherry have been pulling off this whole tournament, effectively, has made me frightened of not taking, just not letting
seeing
the
it
ball
through,
go.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all those little bumps and stuff. It was wonderful play. So it was, and that's 5-1 now. Cardinal has now scored 4 goals.
That's a Xabi Alonso classic. That from beyond the halfway line.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was it.
So it is.
Against Luton Town.
Only instead of, I suppose that would make me Steven Gerrard in that their role, but instead of me getting angry at him, I was like, well done, hit, well done, good goal, good goal, good goal. 5-1 now. Cardinals scored 4. I've scored 1. And that means Cardinal is miles ahead of the Golden Boot. And Sherry is also
getting a bump there. Sherry has destroyed Luvva again.
Mark that one up. Mark it up.
It's absolute.
Open the tally. Tomahawk goes to the shot and hits again off the post. How many times is that?
This is definitely this last minute in the game. I was just like, I really don't care what Sherry's.
I don't even think I was paying attention that much. There was a part of the conversation there where I was like talking to somebody else in the room.
That's right. Yes.
And I'm assuming this is.
Are you nearly done, Sherry?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's a bit of swearing there because I can see my name flashing up, but I don't hear my voice.
Yeah, probably.
I think your response was, "Yeah, I'm nearly done with this."
Oh yeah,
silly game.
Silly game for silly boys.
this Svinox game.
This modern classic, I believe I said.
I just imagine Sherry after this 3-game tournament, just uninstalling Rocket League, getting out his PlayStation 3 and reinstalling Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars,
which is superior in every way.
Is it because it's the only one you can win at?
Yeah, because there's no players. There's no other players, just me.
To be fair to Sherry, I heard in one game of Rocket League he scored 10 goals and had 13 shots.
I did. I have photo
here. Oh, there is another such a chance for Tom, but he's going backwards again.
Yeah, the ball.
There it goes again. Crossed end. 5 seconds to go. Once the ball hits the ground, it's game over. 6-1 is the final result.
6-1 final result in the game. So it is. Sherry, come on. What's happened there?
He's already gone.
There?
I was already gone.
I've never even noticed that before. Sherry's gone.
You hear me? You hear me said, "All right, see you later, bye." And it's your parties. Someone left your party or something. Message.
As mysterious
so we
as he
couldn't
arrived,
actually.
He was away again.
Yeah.
We couldn't actually get his stats. I had to decipher what his stats were based on the game.
Incredible scenes.
There's probably a lot more effort than what my actual stats were.
It was your best game, so it was a shame.
Yeah. Yep. So Sherry, tell us what happened to you there. Was it the pressure? Was it too much? Or what's happened to you there in that series of games?
I have no idea, mate. I think the first game and the connection issues, and then we went 2-0 down so quickly. And then at one point, you could hear at the end of the second game, I think I said to Tom, like, my car will not move. And I don't know if it was something to do with the connection or because I had to use the DualShock 4 because I couldn't get the DualSense to connect to the PC. And I will say, this is the only thing I'm going to say in it. I'm not going to say anything about latency issues or anything because it really doesn't matter because we still would have got tanked anyway. But the DualShock 4 in comparison to the DualSense is an awful controller. Awful. Okay. Trying to go back to that thing is like it's like playing with a child's toy. It's so light and awful.
It's so much lighter, isn't it?
So much lighter. Yeah, it's like there's nothing in it.
It's smaller as well. Physically, it's a lot smaller, and it doesn't curve as much around your hand as the DualSense does.
Yeah,
the DualSense is just a fantastic controller, to be fair, and it's
so good.
Absolutely brilliant. Tomahawk, we've heard Sherry's excuses. Terrible controller, terrible connection, terrible game. Anything you wish to add to that before we go to the roundup?
I have absolutely nothing to say. I feel as if I speak, I'll get in trouble. But when it's not your day, it's not your day.
Okay, so just as a recap for the listener there, Sherry has brought out a bucketload of excuses, and Tomahawk in this podcast, much like that series of games, has added very, very little. And with that recap, we'll go to the roundup.
That's brilliant.
Okay, and that is the challenge wrapped up. The series of 3 games, Orange versus Blue, me and Cardinal versus Sherry and Tomahawk. And to call it a whitewash isn't overstating it, you know, boys. So just for the purposes of a recap, for the purposes of those who are listening to it rather than watching the podcast, game 1 finished with a score 4-0 to me and Cardinal. The second game finishes with a score of 3-1 to me and Cardinal. And game 3 finished with a score, a terrible, pathetic showing, some would say, of 6-1. Complete another capitulation at the end of the day. So there's many, many more stats that we could dive into. And Cardinal, we all know his love of numbers and stats, screenshots, world maps, and databases. Cardinal, take it away, mate.
Flags, numbers, maps. I love it. I'm glad you asked. Thank you very much, MrLuvvaLuvva. So as you know, first game, 4-0 to the blue team, Cardinal and Luvva. We both had 2 goals each. Cardinal 2 assists, Luvva 1 assist. I had 4 shots, 2 shots to Luvva. Sherry had a shot too, whereas Tomahawk and Sherry both had 2 saves, which we didn't need to make. So it was pretty one side attack and one side defending kind of game. On the game 2, the score is 3-1, brings the aggregate score up to 7-1. Again, 2 goals for myself, Luvva 1, and Tomahawk gets on the score sheet. Okay, 1 shot, 1 goal. The Punisher, Tomahawk. Again, I get an assist, so I'm assisting Luvva. I don't remember that there's a challenge about the top goal scorer during the game because you're not thinking about that. Here I am setting the man up. I get 1 save, and again, it's everybody's had a shot that round, so it was much more competitive. The third game, 6-1, obviously the final score. That brings our aggregate to 13-2 for the challenge.
Close.
My days.
Yeah.
Tight
Close.
knit.
It secures the 3 points. I'll give you that. Now I accept the 3 points have been secured. Whew. However, for bonus points, Sherry is off the mark with 1 goal. Luvva is another one, adds another one to the tally, but he assists twice to provide me with other goals, which I've scored 5, which I'm grateful for. That might sway the bonus point. Saves, Luvva pulled off the stunning save we saw in the footage. An understated save was Tomahawk, who pulled off a bit of a double save during that game. He got away in a block and then a clearance and then another save in one succession to stop the scoreline being worse. I had 5 shots. Luvva had 2. Tomahawk had 1. Sherry had 1. The overall scores: Sherry goals 1, Tomahawk's goals 1, Luvva's goals were 4, and myself, Cardinal, were on 9. 9.
Wow.
Yes.
Unreal.
Didn't get the double digits. Assists were interesting. We had Tomahawk on 0. We had Sherry on 0.
Very interesting.
Cardinal and Luvva both on 3.
I mean,
Teamwork. 3 assists
Wow.
each.
just call me the maestro.
Yeah.
This is very much a
goalkeeper.
Rowan Haaland.
Goalkeeper of the tournament, Tomahawk. He had the most saves of the tournament.
Yeah, golden gloves. Well done, Tomahawk. Well done, mate.
I'll take that. I mean, it comes with no bonus point, but then I suppose that's my own detriment because I decided on a bonus point for this challenge.
Yeah. It's a bit of weird that you thought the goal scoring was more like
I know that
rewardable
more
than
feasible. Yeah,
than helping your team. Yeah.
To be fair, we did agree on all this by committee. We did. There was arguments made for a lot of things. I don't think saves ever came into the discussion because there was assists and there was
the
goals.
suggestion The suggestion came for goals, and we figured goals win games. We kind of forgot that saves can also sway a match big time. But I will know for season 2.
And that's it. That's the summary. And I was worried when goals was the deciding factor for the bonus point because I had seen Tom pound them in, and I had a suspicion that Mick was probably going to be, a bit of a player at this because I'd heard he'd played the previous version quite a lot. And if it was anything like COD, maybe he'd come up and walk us. But
it was a strange one. It was a strange one because I remember Sherry playing this a lot more than what I've played it, and I'm assuming he played it a lot more than Cardinal or Tomahawk has played it. And I thought, he's gonna be the one to mark out the game type thing, and that's why, to be fair, I put in the practice the week before. I think I put in something like 5 hours, including our game series, like about 5 hours in the Rocket League in the week before, just to sort of get up to scratch, because I hadn't touched this game since about 2 months, 3 months maybe after it released. Once yourselves, once the skill of everyone online hit that point where I was like, I'm never matching that, because like MrLuvvaLuvva was born in 2015 and stuff, and for a long time now my controllers were put down, and I was like, I'm never going back to that game until obviously this podcast rolled around. So I was like, okay, I'm top of the league, I've put some practice in, and practicing.
It's funny that you should say about putting practice in. It's the one game I'm convinced that we've all made the most effort in to be ready, get challenge ready for this one.
Yep.
Sherry not so much, but
that's never going to change.
It's not very often, because obviously we're all busy for different things with work and families and stuff. It's not very often the 4 of us get on to play a game. In fact, one of the big struggles with this podcast is getting everyone online to record either the game or the podcast. And this week, I think I've played more online multiplayer than I have in years, and it's been with you boys on Rocket League. He would have thought it, not me. Like,
it's a funny one because it's not a game that I plan to delete anytime soon either. I actually, if anything, it's made me kind of want to play it even more. Even watching the footage back, yes, we got absolutely hammered, but it was great. It's such a fun game, and I don't think I played it up until maybe about a year ago, really. Mm-hmm. So it's one I'm probably going to keep playing for a long while, at least anyway.
Yeah. I mean, so much time has passed since I played this game that there's now like a currency system. I was like, what is this?
Oh yeah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they changed a lot of the cosmetics, and they took away like just standard DLC. Now it's like all based around esports, which is really sad because there was like really class DLC that I never bought and I regret it now. I think it was like when the first Jurassic World came out, they had the original Jurassic Park 1997 Jeep, or 1995, whatever that was. The Jeeps, nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And when you scored, the goal celebrations, obviously you can customize them with the Jurassic Park pack. When you scored it, it would like have like a confetti version of like a T-Rex, and then you would hear the roar.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Class. Me and Luvva did practice quite a bit in the week leading up to this. Once we knew we were playing together, and we did see Luvva Hearts school celebrations. Like so, he scored.
It's like, I must have that.
Yes,
I must have that. But shall we get to the points and the league table? The update on that, because this is probably, it's not probably, this is the biggest change the league has seen all season. It's massive for the league, this here result. So it is. So obviously there is no first to fourth. There's first and there's second. So first place is the winning team. They're going to get 3 points, and that's me and Cardinal. And then obviously Sherry and Tomahawk have lost this series, therefore they get 0 points. Because Cardinal then scored 9 goals. He gets the bonus point, which means at the end of this series, then in first place with 4 points is Cardinal. In second place with 3 points is me. And then in third and fourth is Sherry and Tomahawk with 0 points each. And the league table is all change. All change. In fourth place with 9 points, Sherry. Tom is now in third with 11 points.
Can't shake it.
Cardinal has went from last to second in a single challenge with 13 points. 4 behind me, who's sitting top with 17. It is all to play for, and there are two more challenges left?
2 challenges to
2
go.
more challenges left. Sherry's...
I think my fate's sailed at this point. I'm
don't
not
know.
winning. I don't think winning's on the table anymore.
You've been going through this entire season saying you're happy enough with 4th and you're gonna
I know,
make
but
the
then
most of it. And then last week
Change the mind.
you
last week.
admitted that, okay, I don't want to finish 4th. So now the challenge is, can Sherry not finish last? You've been last, 7 of the 8 weeks we've been playing here. And now your challenge is, can you get a run together? Because you have won, 2 challenges? Well, 3 challenges if we want to include Back for Blood, which is a win because he's only one who got points that week.
A
So it's
bonus point, yeah.
3 challenges, which is 1 less than me, but he finds himself 8 points adrift, which just goes to show you that it's those challenge wins are massive. And the single points as well. It's the 2s. It's the coming second, which is keeping me sort of adrift. Because the weeks I don't tend to win, I tend to get a point.
Finish 2nd or 3rd
or
at least
2.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not finishing last is the key to this, I think. Not finishing
No,
last.
I remember doing a bit of, I do the mental maths. I have my the scores each week as well, just for my own sanity. And I'm looking at the lack of zeros that you have on the League Luvva as well. It's we say we said every week that we're not god tier gamers. We're not really full-time gamers either by any stretch of the imagination. But you show up and the challenge, the leaderboard shows straight away that forced to be reckoned with.
But in fairness, I do tend to stick the PlayStation 5 on for maybe an hour here and there and practice the games, the challenge games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it takes. I don't play the games flat out. Rocket League I did, but The Last of Us I did, to be fair. But I don't sit down and play. I didn't sit down and play The Last of Us for 5 or 6 hours at a time. I played it 1 hour, maybe 2 hours
Chipped away.
when everyone else is in bed, and sort of chip away at it. And I think that's the key to me rarely not picking up any points. Is just a wee bit of practice here and there, and just sort of having a
Folks,
game plan.
I would say, yes, we've gone from 5 points separating the whole league to 8, and it widens the field. Having a look, there are only 2 more games, 2 more weeks left in this season. However, they are not set results. There is no game there that any of us would feel confident that they're going to come out on top in.
I remember saying that. Episode 6, I think these games, so 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all games that any of us could have won, and so far it's been proved right, because they're games that none of us are particularly any good at, and they're not games we would routinely play.
That's it. There's a lot of games that have been purpose chosen purely for the fact that we haven't played them, and we thought, right, this will look cool to do as an episode or a challenge and stuff like that as well. Especially, not giving anything away, but next week I'm particularly looking forward to, because again, you say sort of on the weekly Luvva about some of the games being a good equalizer.
Yeah.
And next week I think is a very good equalizer.
Yes. Yes. But Sherry is awfully quiet there. Anything you want to add, Sherry, before we head on to the roundup?
Not really. I'm good.
He's a man of few words.
There's still points to be won. So there are.
I will say for Sherry, the last 2 weeks, whoever's been 4th in the league has won the challenge that week.
There we
So
go.
think of it that way.
So the smart money is on Sherry.
I don't think the
That's
smart
fine.
money's ever on Sherry.
And on that bombshell, let's get to the close. And that is it. Episode 8 is wrapped up, gentlemen. Big changes in the league, and I'm sure in the last 2 episodes of this season there's going to be even more big changes. I doubt the league is going to stay the way it is right now, because it's seldom stayed the status quo all season. So it hasn't. So, as always, if you've liked what you've watched or listened to, then don't be afraid to subscribe, follow, like, whatever it is on the platform you're listening or watching us on. Ring the bell if you're doing it on YouTube. If you want more content from us, you can find us on social media. So on Instagram, it is High Scores High Stakes Podcast. On Twitter, it is at H Scores H Stakes. You can find us all individually on Twitter. Thank you.
Twitter.
Us all individually on Twitter. I am at Mr_Luvva_Luvva. Cardinal Smith is at Cardinal_Smith. Sherry is at MrJohnSherry, and Tomahawk is at the Tom Hutton. Also, get yourself over to anchor.fm/High Scores High Stakes. There you can find a whole load of polls and questions, and you can leave us voice messages. If we get any, we will do an episode at some point. Ask us a question, slag off Sherry, do whatever you want, it's fine. And Discord, we do have Discord servers. There is a server for every episode, and there is one for High Scores High Stakes. Still not researched it, still have no idea how to find it. So again, if anyone has researched it, jump in.
There is a link in the description of the podcast right below. Check it out. Love to chat to you.
There we go. We'll make it nice and simple for you. I refuse to research it. I'm too old now to learn new things, boys. But as always, new episodes are on Monday. So until next Monday, I'm MrLuvvaLuvva, and this has been High Scores High Stakes. Love you all. Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Did you say you're not a believer of Dino Crisis or Climate Crisis?
Climate Crisis.
I don't think Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis was never real. Didn't exist.
Wow. Wow. I read.
Just dreamt it.
Oh dear, oh dear.